I mean, the film represents his entire life from birth to death. All of his experiences. So what I said to Xavier is, he knows nothing. He has no memories, no dreams, nothing. He's a completely blank slate. He's just all emotion, zero self-control. And like when you look at a toddler or look at a baby, they're just totally narcissistic. It's just meet my needs now,
Sure.
or die, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what the monster is. And because when he's beautiful, they love him.
Yeah.
And when he's ugly, they reject him in the most painful and upsetting ways. And so I think that's the essence of the character. He's an innocent. And then there's this other level to it, which I really wanted to play with, which comes directly from the book, which is when the monster tells his own story in the book, he speaks like a romantic poet. He sounds like Lord Byron. He doesn't sound like, you know, Boris Karloff. He's not just a grunting monster. He's very erudite. And I wanted to show that as being his internal voice, that he has this internal voice that's incredibly sophisticated and intelligent and sensitive, but he can't express himself because he hasn't learnt language yet.
Yeah.
And it's like he's almost like an autistic person. He's trapped inside his own head. Well, you know, I think that the character of Elizabeth is very different in this movie than it is in the novel and in previous versions of Frankenstein, which in as much as normally Elizabeth is Frankenstein's fiancée, she's kept out of the laboratory, and she's usually banging on the door going, "Victor, what are you doing in there? Victor, come out now." He's like, "Don't go in there." And that's usually how those scenes play out. In a modern context, of course, she should be involved.
Sure.
And she should be part of the process. And I think it's also a kind of tribute to Mary Shelley herself, because after all, the book is written by a woman. And I think it's very interesting when you involve a sort of feminine principle in there, in some ways, surely it's a male fantasy to create life, because it's something women do routinely. But Mary Shelley had reproductive problems. She had miscarriages, and so it's not always that easy. And I think that struggle and that fantasy is actually a very powerful female fantasy too. And it's not insignificant that the book was written by a woman. So in a sense, giving him, you know, we all know that the monster has daddy issues. So I wanted to give him some mummy issues too.
Yeah.